Hello, friends. It's me, Peggy again. You know, there is a question I get at least once a week from my children, from the ladies at the retirement club, and sometimes even from kind strangers. They usually look at me with these pitying eyes, lower their voice, and ask, "Peggy, living all alone like this, aren't you sad? Don't you plan on finding a nice gentleman companion to keep you company and liven up the house?" My granddaughter even excitedly downloaded a dating app on my phone. She said, "Grandma, Mr. John next door has been a widower for 5 years. He still looks sharp, and he can still drive. Do you want me to set up a coffee date?" I know. Everyone means well. Society always teaches us that a 70-year-old woman living alone must be a tragedy. That being single at this age means being lonely, pitiful, and abandoned. But today, I want to tell you a truth that might surprise you. That is, I am single and I am insanely happy. I am not looking for a relationship anymore, not because I hate men and not because my heart is dead. Quite the opposite. I had a wonderful marriage that lasted 40 years with Harold. I know exactly what fulfilling happiness tastes like, and precisely because I have already tasted the full flavor of love, now, in this final chapter of my life, I have decided to choose another luxury gift for myself. That is, the gift of freedom. Why did I choose the single bed instead of looking for a shoulder to lean on? Why do I turn down those tempting matchmaking offers? Sit down and I will tell you 4 reasons why being alone is the best thing I have done for myself in the last 10 years. The first reason, and honestly, this is the biggest one, I call it the main course theory. Harold and I, we had over 40 years together. We started when I was just a naive 20-year-old kid who didn't know the first thing about life. We walked through 4 decades side by side. And let me tell you, it wasn't always a fairy tale. It had everything: the sweet, the bitter, the screaming matches, and the quiet sacrifices we made for each other. People often tell me, "Come on, Peggy, you're 70, you're healthy, you're still doing yoga. Why not find someone to lean on? You've still got plenty of time." True, I have my health. But here's the thing, my friends. The human heart, just like the stomach, has a limited capacity. For me, my marriage with Harold was the main course, the full 5-star meal of my life. I'm full. I have tasted love in its entirety. I am simply not hungry for romance anymore. Just imagine this for a second. Let's say I start dating a new guy. Let's call him Bob. No matter how great Bob is, I know exactly what my brain will do. I will unconsciously compare him to Harold. Bob tells a joke and I'll think, "It's okay, I guess, but he's not as witty as Harold." Bob makes me coffee and I'll think, "Harold knew I liked less sugar. Bob just doesn't get it." That is just unfair to Bob, isn't it? It's not his fault he isn't Harold. And frankly, it's exhausting for me. I would rather hold on to a beautiful, complete memory than try to cobble together a patched-up reality with a stranger. I had the one. And for me, that is enough. Reason number 2. Now, listen closely. This might sound a little harsh, but it is the honest-to-God truth. I call it the nurse trap. At 70 years old, when we women step out into the dating pool, who do we find? We find gentlemen who are also in their 70 seconds or 80 seconds. And here is the naked truth. Most men at this age, they aren't looking for a lover to walk under the moonlight with. What they are really looking for is a caregiver. They are looking for a woman to step in and fill the role of a wife, to cook the meals, manage the house, and organize the pills. Just look at my life's resume. I spent my youth raising children, changing thousands of diapers, and spoon-feeding babies. I spent my middle ages caring for aging parents on both sides of the family. And I spent the final years of my marriage caring for Harold when he got sick. I have managed medication schedules. I have monitored blood pressure. I have cooked the soft foods. I have done my duty. I have officially graduated from the School of Caregiving with honors. Now I am 70. My legs still work. My eyes are still sharp. I want to use the time I have left to travel. I want to go dancing on Saturday nights. I want to get lost in a museum all day long. I absolutely do not want to start a new shift. I don't want to become an unpaid nurse for a stranger just to start worrying about someone else's cholesterol levels or dietary restrictions all over again. Does that sound selfish? You might call it selfish, but at my age, I call it self-preservation. I love myself too much to become a utility in someone else's golden years. Reason number 3, absolute domestic freedom. Young people might be afraid of sleeping alone. They are afraid of the dark or the empty space. But for me, that king-size bed is heaven on earth. I can sleep diagonally, sideways, or full-on starfish right in the middle of the mattress without kicking anyone. I can roll myself up like a burrito and hog the entire duvet without fighting a midnight war for the covers. And the best part, do you know what it is? No more snoring, thundering in my ear. The silence. Oh, it is just sweet, sweet music. But the bed is just the tip of the iceberg. More importantly, no more compromising. Marriage, fundamentally, is just a series of endless compromises. But now, if it's 6 p.m. and I'm tired and I simply do not want to cook, I can sit on my sofa with a giant bowl of popcorn and binge watch 3 episodes of a Korean drama. There is no one pacing around frowning, asking, "Honey, what's for dinner? Why isn't the table set?" Nope, just me, my popcorn, and those handsome actors on the TV. That is enough. Or take this house, for example. Harold hated bright colors, but me, I love them. Now, if I want to paint the living room walls hot pink or hang up weird abstract art, I just do it. No committee meetings, no votes required. After 40 years of living around someone else's preferences and someone else's stomach, the feeling of being the queen of my own kingdom, deciding everything from the spoons to the sheets. Honestly, my friends, it is addictive. Once you taste this kind of freedom, it is very hard to go back. And here is the final reason, the one that lies deepest in my heart. Just look back at the life of a woman. For the past 70 years, the name Peggy has always come with a label attached. When I was young, I was my parents' good daughter. Then, I was Harold's wife. Then I became the kids' mom. And now, Grandma. I spent my entire life busy playing an excellent supporting role in everyone else's story. I always ask myself, if you peel off all those labels, who is Peggy, really? Honestly, 10 years ago, I couldn't answer that question. I was terrified to face my own reflection. But now, for the first time in my life, I have decided to step into the spotlight and take the leading role. I am not looking for another man because I am currently in a very serious relationship with myself. I am learning to get to know and love this 70-year-old woman. I'm spending my savings on oil painting classes, something I loved as a girl, but was too afraid to try because it was too expensive. I'm doing yoga to listen to my own body. I'm writing every morning just to chat with the thoughts in my head. And you know what? I discovered that this Peggy is actually quite interesting, funny, and deep. She is not as boring as I thought, and I realized a profound truth. If you don't know how to be happy when you are alone, you will feel lonely even when you are with someone else. The most loyal partner you will ever have, the one who walks with you from your first breath to your last, is no one else but yourself. So, why not spend these final years loving that soulmate? So, to sum it all up, I am sharing this not because I hate men or because I'm boycotting love. Love is a miracle. I know that. If tomorrow a wonderful gentleman shows up at my doorstep, someone who can make me laugh, who respects my freedom, and, most importantly, knows how to take care of himself, no nurses needed, then sure, maybe I will consider a date. But I am not going to sit here with my door wide open, waiting and withering away. I will not lower my standards just because I'm afraid of the shadow of loneliness. To all the women watching this, whether you are 30, 50, or 70 like me, society loves to threaten us. They say if you don't have a man, your life is a failure. You'll be lonely when you get old. Watch out or you'll become a crazy cat lady. Please do not listen to them. The scariest kind of loneliness is not when you are alone in an empty room. The scariest kind of loneliness is when you are in a relationship lying right next to a man and you still feel disconnected and misunderstood. That, my friends, is a living hell. At 70, I realize my time is no longer infinite like it used to be. I no longer have time for low-quality relationships. I no longer have patience for pointless arguments or silent endurance. I would rather spend my afternoon drinking tea alone, watching the sunset, and feeling peace in my heart. That is infinitely better than spending that afternoon serving and catering to someone else's emotions just to keep up the appearance of being a couple for society to see. So, if you are single, hold your head high. You are not leftover goods. You are not left behind. You are a free woman, enjoying life entirely on your own terms. Please remember this. Happiness is not having someone sleeping next to you. Happiness is feeling at peace when you sleep alone. I wish you a brilliant life, whether you have a partner or not. Cheers.